Shalom, Yasha Allah. It's your brother Mapathak, right? That'd be key, but in the ancient Paleo Hebrew. And it's going to be a quick video just dealing with staying humble in this thing. Staying meek, right? Not thinking too highly of oneself, right? Understanding that you're just a servant of the Lord, right? You're just a vessel being used by the Lord in this thing. You understand? And before we go into the words of the Lord, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High God, right? Yahweh, in the name of his only begotten Son, who the world will ignorantly call Jesus Christ, but we know him as Yahweh Shai, right? So that's all praise to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, right? And we're going to dive right into this thing with in Luke 17, and I'm going to start from verse 7, right? So we're all unprofitable servants in this thing, right? So check this out. It says, but which of you having a servant plowing or feeding cattle will say unto him by and by, and when he is come from the field, go and sit down to meat, right? It says, and will not rather say unto him, make ready wherewith I may sup, and gird thyself and serve me till I have eaten and drinking. So that's what a servant is supposed to do. They're supposed to do what's commanded of them by their master. You understand? Right? And they're supposed to serve their master. Right? In verse 9 it says, doeth he thank that servant because he did the things that were commanded him? Right? So when if you have a servant, right, and you tell him to make ready the feast, right, make ready the table, right, whatever it may be, clean up the bathroom, right, are you going to thank him when he's done? It says, and this is red letter, this is Yahweh Shai speaking, it says, I trow not, right? So you're not going to thank that servant because he's doing what he's supposed to be doing, right, serving you, right? So the Lord said, I trow not, right? And this is the point, verse 10, it says, so likewise ye, right? So likewise, us being servants of the Lord, it says, when you shall have done all those things which are commanded you, right? The law, statutes, and commandments, right? Say, we are unprofitable servants, right? So when we're doing the work, right? We're on the highways and byways. We're keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. Hey, man, that's not nothing we can boast in, right? We're just unprofitable servants doing the things that we're commanded to do. You understand? And it says, we have done that which was our duty to do. And that's what men were created for, right? Men were created to serve the Lord, to worship Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, to follow the law, statutes, and commandments. And a lot of men, they take this position that the Lord gave them and they boast in it, right? They boast in these things. But really, you're nothing but dust and ashes. Really, you're nothing but a filthy rag, right? We're all filthy rags. You understand? We're all dust and ashes. Right, so we can't boast in this thing. We have to be thankful and grateful that the Lord allowed us to come into this ministry, knowing we were all sinners. But we're not supposed to boast in this thing. You understand? We got to be humble, right? Because like I'm gonna read that again. That's heavy, right? This is actually super heavy, right? This is verse 10. It says, "So likewise, ye, when ye shall have done all those things which are commanded you, say, we are unprofitable servants. We have done that which was our duty to do." This is literally your duty. Right, so you're not doing nothing special, right? Don't come into this thing and thinking you're somebody special. You understand? You're doing what you were commanded to do. You're literally doing what you were created to do. Well, let's bring this out in Ecclesiastes 12, right? It's a classic precept, right? This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12 and verse 13, and it reads, "Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man." Right, so it goes back to Ecclesiastes, right? What King Solomon said. This is literally your whole duty, was to serve the Most High God and keep his commandments, right? So don't start to boast yourself in that. You understand? Start to boast in your works, right? Because really, ultimately, it's all of the Lord that put that spirit on you and allowed you to be used as a servant, right? To be used as a vessel to magnify his holy name. You understand? So let's go to Romans 12, and it's going to be a quick video, right? So this is the book of Romans, chapter 12 and verse 3, and it reads, "For I say through the grace given unto me, right, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think." So don't come in this thing, Salakia, and thinking of yourself more highly than you ought to think, right? Thinking you're just this super powerful man of the Lord. Hey, you're a filthy rag, man. Right? You're a filthy rag. You understand? Hey, It was all through the grace of the Lord that you were able to even come into this thing, right? So don't kind of boast in yourself. Hey, boast in the Lord, right? So it says, I'm gonna read that again from the top. It says, "For I say through the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, according as the Most High God have dealt to every man the measure of faith." Right, so this is all given unto you by the Most High God. The wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding, the grace, the faith. It was all granted unto you by the Most High God. So don't boast in yourself, man. Right, don't try to exalt yourself in this thing. Right, stop seeking preeminence. Right, stop feeling like people have to look at you a certain type of way because the Lord called you into this truth. Right, you feel like you can look down on other brothers and sisters, man. Right, you're nothing but a filthy rag, man. Right, the Lord said in the book of Sirach, I believe it's chapter 10, that pride was not created for man. Right, so we have to try to strive to be as lowly as possible. We have nothing to be proud about. The only thing we should boast in is that we know the Most High God. Right, and I believe that's in Jeremiah 9. Right, so that's the only thing we should boast in. Right, yeah, that's what I want. So this is the book of Jeremiah chapter 9 and verse 23, and it reads, "Thus said the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, let not the wise man glory in his wisdom." So you may be granted a certain amount of wisdom, right? You might know all the breakdowns in the scriptures. You might have read the whole Bible 5 times, right? And you feel like you have a great understanding of it. But the Lord said, let not the wise man glory in his wisdom. But that's nothing to glory in, man. Right? That's nothing to glory in, right? It says, neither let the mighty man glory in his might. And you might be a mighty man. You understand? The Lord might have put a mighty spirit on you, but you can't glory in that, right? The Lord said, let not the mighty man glory in his might, right? And it says, and let not the rich man glory in his riches. And even if you're rich, the Lord might have blessed you with an abundance of riches on the carnal level, man. You might own land, right? You might own a bunch of cars, whatever it may be, right? Physical riches. But the Lord said, let not the rich man glory in his riches. But that's nothing to glory in, because it could all be taken from you by the Lord. That's why it's all about the glorification of the Lord, because a spiritual man can perceive and understand that everything that he has comes from the Lord, right? It's nothing that comes, nothing that he did with his own hands, right? It was all through the Spirit of the Lord that allowed him to have these things, right? In verse 24, heavy, right? It says, Jeremiah 9 and 24, but let him that glorieth glory in this, that he understandeth and knoweth me. And that's the only thing a true man of the Lord is going to glory in, that he understands and knows the Most High God, man. Right? Hey, and that's what I mean. Like, by a spiritual man, he's going to know, hey, everything that I have comes from the Most High God. Me even being in this truth, it comes from the Most High God. Right? Me having the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to even go into certain breakdowns, it comes from the Most High God. And you're not going to glory in yourself. You're going to glory in the Most High God. You're nothing but an unprofitable servant. Right? And it says, I'm going to read that again from the top. It says, but let him that glorieth glory in this, that he understandeth and knoweth me, that I am the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, which exercise loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness in the earth. For in these things I delight, said the Lord. So that's the only thing that we ought to glory in, right? Don't get called into this truth and start to just think you something that you're not, man. Right? Don't start to just change your, what's the words I'm looking for? Right? You looking down on your brothers in the world now, right? Now, hey, you don't want brothers to feel like they can't come to you now because you're too high and mighty, right? You're holier than thou. Hey, man, you're not holier than thou in this thing, man, right? We're all unprofitable servants, man. I'm gonna keep reiterating that point. If the Lord was gracious unto you, had mercy on you, and even brought you in this thing, man, that's a beautiful thing in itself. And that's the only thing you should glory in, is the Lord, right? And I want to go to Galatians 6, right? So this is the book of Galatians, chapter 6 and verse 3, and it reads, for if a man think himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself. And that's plain, right? If you think yourself to be something when you're nothing, you're not doing nothing but deceiving yourself, man, right? Because you're ultimately going to you're going to be a castaway, right? The Lord is going to remove you, right? Because the Lord doesn't need a prideful man, right? The Lord doesn't need a man that's going to exalt himself in this thing, right? The Lord needs lowly servants, because Yahushua said out of his own mouth that he is meek and lowly in heart, man. right? And we have to be the same. I want to go to Matthew 23. And this through the Spirit, like we don't really have nothing written down, but this is something brothers just been meditating on, right? We're really all unprofitable servants in this thing, right? And one of the things that we should be praying every day, Salakia, praying on every day, right, is having the Lord creating us a lowly, meek, and humble spirit, right? That's a beautiful thing to have, right? That's a lowly, meek, and humble spirit is a beautiful thing to have. Let me get that real quick before we get this in Matthew. I believe it's 1 Peter 3 and verse 4. Right? So this is the book of 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 4, and it reads, "But let it be the hidden man of the heart," right? Talking about your spirit, right? "And that which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit, which is in the sight of the Most High God of great price." So having a meek and quiet spirit is a beautiful thing in the sight of the Most High God. You understand? That's a beautiful thing, man. Right? Having a lowly, meek, and humble spirit, right? Numbers 12 and verse 3, it tells you that Moses was the meekest man to walk the earth, right? Matthew chapter 11 verse 29 on down tells you that Yahushua was meek and lowly in heart, right? And we could go into accounts about King David. He had 3 mighty men go out their way and risk their lives to get him a drink of water. And he was so humble, he said, man, he poured it out. He said, man, I can't drink this, man, right? This is basically y'all blood, right? Roughly paraphrasing, man. Right, he said y'all put y'all life on the line for this thing, so I can't drink it. Right, roughly paraphrasing. Right, so our forefathers, our greatest forefathers, are meek and humble men. Right, they didn't come into the Salakia. The Lord didn't anoint them, and then they just felt like they were the greatest men on earth. Even though they probably were the greatest men on earth, they didn't carry themselves and boast in that. You understand? Only thing they boasted in were the Lord. When you read about Yahushua, who did he boast in? Yahushua boasted in his Father. When you read about Moses, who did he make his boast in? He made his boast in the Father, right? The Most High God, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, right? King David, he's always boasting in the Father. Read the book of Psalms. He's doing nothing but magnifying and exalting the name of the Lord, man. Right? Hey, man. So how much more us? Right? So I'm gonna read this again. 1 Peter 3 and 4. It says, "But let it be the hidden man of the heart, and that which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit, which is in the sight of the Most High God, a great price." So that's something you should always be adding into your praying arsenal. Always asking the Lord to create in you a meek, quiet, lowly, humble spirit, man. Right? And I was about to go to Matthew, right, 23. And I want verse 11, right? And this is a beautiful precept to even go what I was just going into. Right? So this is Matthew 23 and verse 11. This is a red letter. This is Yahushua speaking. Right? And it says, "But he that is greatest among you shall be your servant." So, hey, all the great men in the scriptures, they were serving other men. Right? The Lord said, "He that is greatest among you shall be a servant." Because even you read about that, I believe it's 1 Kings or 2 Kings 12 verse 7 on down, when the elders gave I believe it's Jeroboam. The elders gave Jeroboam advice, and they told him the way you're going to be a great king is if you serve the nation, right? So even as a king, you have to be a great servant unto the nation to be a great king. And what did Yahushua do when he walked the earth? He did nothing but heal others, have mercy on others, and serve everybody else, man. So Yahushua was practicing what he was preaching, right? So this is the book of Matthew chapter 23 and verse 11, and it reads, "But he that is greatest among you shall be your servant." Right? And that's what we should strive to be, right? Servants. You understand? Servants to the nation, right? And it says, because we're commanded to, you understand? Not because we want to, oh, Yahushua said that's how you got to be the greatest. Hey, well, at the same time, you do want to do it because that's what Yahushua said. But really, the point that I'm trying to make is that either way, you might be the greatest. The Lord might be dealing with you on another level than other men, but at the same time, you're still an unprofitable servant. That's the whole point I'm trying to make, right? So I'm gonna read that again. It says, "But he that is greatest among you shall be your servant," right? "And whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased." So when you exalt yourself in this thing and you start to think that you're something you're not, right? You start to become wise in your own conceits. The Lord is going to bring you down low. The Lord is going to abase you. You understand? It says, hey, when you have if you have more faith in the next brother, that shouldn't even be something that you should ever want to glory in, right? That should make you more humble. And it says that in the Sirach. I might get it, but I believe I'm gonna find it, right? But Salaki, what was I just saying? kind of got a lot going through my head right now. Yeah, so if the Lord grants you with more faith in the next brother, you should never want to boast in that. You should want to use that faith to build up the next brother. If the Lord grants you with more wisdom than the next brother, you should never want to boast in that. You should want to use that to edify the next brother, edify the church. You understand? Because that's what the Lord raised up certain brothers for. It's for the edification, the building up of the church. Not for you to boast and think you're better than the next brother or the next sister. You understand? But let me read this again. It says, "But he that is greatest among you shall be your servant, and whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased." So if you exalt yourself in this thing, the Lord is going to bring you down low. Right? And it says, "And he that shall humble himself shall be exalted." If you humble yourself, right, you serve your brothers and sisters in this thing, hey, the Lord is going to exalt you. Right? And I want to go to Sirach and find that precept. I believe it's in Sirach. It's either in Sirach 3 or Sirach 1. Right? So bear with me. See if I can find this thing. Bear with me. Salakia. So I believe it's in Sirach 3. I believe it's Sirach 3 and 19. 3 and 18. Salakia. So this is the book of Sirach, chapter 3 and verse 18. I'm gonna start from 17, right? This whole thing is actually good, right? It says, "My son, go on thy business in meekness." That's plain. So, hey, everything we do in this thing, we're supposed to do it in meekness, right? It says, "So shalt thou be beloved of him that is approved," right? Verse 18 is the point that I want. It says, the greater thou art, the more humble thyself. So the greater you are, the more humble you should be, man, right? The more of a servant you should be to the church. Right, it says, "And thou shalt find favor before the Lord." And the meek are going to find favor before the Lord. Right, that's playing upon tables. And I want to go to the classic in Matthew 5. Right, Matthew 5 and verse 5, because the Lord said this. The Lord said, "Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth." So the Lord didn't say, "Blessed is that proud man." Blessed is the man that exalts of himself. Blessed is the man that take the grace that I bestowed upon him and exalts himself in that and feel like he's better than the next brother or sister, man. Right? And make himself wise in his own conceits. Right? "I'm a mighty prophet of the Lord." Right? "I'm this. I'm that." And now you talking down on the next brother and the next sister, man. You're nothing but an unprofitable servant, man. Right? You're nothing but a filthy rag. And that's pursuing, just in case, for edification's sake, because I keep kind of paraphrasing that, but so I'm gonna bring it out just in case, for edification's sake, if a brother never heard that precept before, a sister never heard it. Right? So this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 64 and verse 6. And it reads, "But we are all as an unclean thing," right? "And all our righteousness," right? "All our righteousnesses," right, "are as filthy rags," right? So even in all of our righteousness, we are as filthy rags, man. Right? So this verse should really humble you down. And it says, "And we all do fade as a leaf, and our iniquities like the wind have taken us." So in all our righteousness, we're still as filthy rags before the Lord. So don't exalt yourself, man. Stop glorifying in yourself. The only thing you should glory in is the Most High God. Let me see if I remember this precept as well. Right? That's not what I'm looking for. So like it real fast, because I want this as well. All together, vanity. Right? Some of these precepts got to kind of wipe the dust off of them, man. I kind of haven't used them in a while. All right, so it's Psalms 39 and verse 5, right? And it reads, "Behold, thou hast made my days as an hand breadth, and my age is as nothing before thee. Verily, every man at his best state is altogether vanity." Salah. Right? So even men at his best state, right? The Lord said all men at their best state. You might think you're on fire. Right? You've been fasting for 7 days straight, right? You've been getting all the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the scriptures, right? You're doing videos every day. You're doing 5 videos every day. You're on fire, right? You calling the brothers, exhorting brothers every day. You're on fire, right? But the Lord said men at his best state is altogether vanity, right? So you got to understand, hey, man, your only thing that you should glory in is in the Most High God, man. Don't try to exalt yourself in this thing, because the Lord is not looking at you no certain type of way, man. Right? The Lord created you, man. Right? So don't boast yourself in this thing. Right? And everything that you've been given and everything that you do is all orchestrated by the Lord, man. Right? So you have to understand what you're dealing with in this thing. Right? So I'm going to get one more and I'm going to close out. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 27. Right? Let's go to Proverbs 26. in verse 12, and it reads, seest thou a man wise in his own conceit? So do you see a man that's in his own mind? He's puffing his self up, basically, right? He's telling himself how wise he is. He feel like he's something he's not, right? You thinking yourself to be something, like Paul said in Galatians 6:3. For if a man think himself to be something, right, when he is nothing, he deceiving himself. And that's what it means to be wise in your own conceits. You kind of thinking you something you're not, man, right? You telling yourself you something that you're not, man. Right, when you really nothing but an unprofitable servant. You understand? But you're telling yourself you this mighty man of the Lord. Right? You just better than the next brother and better than the next sister. That's what it means to be wise in your own conceits. It says, seest thou a man wise in his own conceit? There is more hope of a fool than of him. Right? So it's more hope of a fool than of a man that's wise in his own conceits, man. Right? Thinking he's something he not, being proud. Right? So I'm going to go back to where we started, and I'm going to close out through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Right? So this is the book of Luke chapter 17 and verse 10, and it reads, so likewise ye, when you shall have done all those things which are commanded you, say, we are unprofitable servants. So even when you're doing everything that you're commanded to do, right? We're commanded to exhort brothers and sisters daily. Right? We're commanded to go out on the highways and byways. Right? We're commanded to stop eating pork. We're commanded to do all these things by the Most High God. Right? So it says, so likewise, when you shall have do all those things which you are commanded to do, say, we are unprofitable servants. And a lot of brothers, they read this and they don't want to say that. What Yahushua mean I'm an unprofitable servant? I'm a mighty man of the Lord. A lot of brothers don't want to read this. A lot of brothers don't want to bring this out, right? They want to act like it's not in the scriptures. Hey, the Lord said you're an unprofitable servant, brother, right? It says, we are unprofitable servants. We have done that which was our duty to do, and that's all we do, man. We just do that which was our duty to do, which is to serve and worship the Most High God, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and follow His every word, right, to the best of our ability, right? And with that, Yasha Allah, continue to read, continue to pray, continue to fast, continue to study, continue to exhort the brethren, right, the sisters, right, continue to love one another, right, continue to be strive to be meek, right, strive to be lowly, right. Strive to be a better servant of the Lord every day, man. Right? And with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Right? And Lord willing, this was edifying to the elect, right? To the hopeful elect, right? And Shalom, Yasha Allah.